Patrick Mahomes shredded the first defenses he saw as a full-time starting quarterback, and then had one of the greatest sophomore seasons in NFL history. Many passers have used their second seasons to display signs of greatness. Here are the best of the Super Bowl era. The 2004 Giants sat 5-4 behind free agent signing Kurt Warner. They lost their next 6 games after giving Manning the reins, but the 2004 draft weekend trade prize proved GM Ernie Accorsi right a year later. The Giants won the NFC East at 11-5 and saw their young quarterback take major steps forward. Manning threw 24 touchdown passes and finished with 3,762 passing yards, both top 5 marks that year. The Giants made the next 3 NFC playoff brackets, the 2007 season ending with one of the best runs a quarterback has ever submitted. After a rough rookie season, Elway showed glimpses of his future in 1984. The Broncos turned to their future superstar full-time in '84 and won Elway's first 10 starts that year. They finished 12-2 in Elway's first string outings and won the AFC West. The future Hall of Famer hadn't put it all together yet, but he fired 18 touchdown passes to lift the Broncos to their first home playoff game in 6 years. Denver lost to Pittsburgh in the divisional round, with Elway throwing 2 INTs, but put its long-term Elway blueprint in place that season. The second of Collins' 17 seasons produced the first of his 2 Pro Bowls and a stunning finish for the Panthers. Behind the first draft pick in franchise history, the Panthers rocketed to an NFC West title and the conference championship game in their second year of existence. Collins threw 14 touchdown passes in 12 games, and the Panthers went 9-3 in his starts. He posted a season-high 327 yards and 3 TD passes in Carolina's December win in San Francisco, dethroning the 49ers in the division. Collins also threw 2 TDs in a divisional round win over the defending Super Bowl champion Cowboys. A wild outlier season wasn't enough to snap a Buccaneers playoff drought that had grown to 12 years by 2019, but Freeman showed ultimately fleeting potential in 2010. The 2009 first-round pick threw 25 touchdown passes and just 6 interceptions, guiding Tampa Bay to a 10-6 record in his first year as a full-time starter. Freeman's 95.6 passer rating ranked 6th that season. The Kansas State product orchestrated 5 fourth-quarter comebacks and secured the Bucs a winning season with a 5 TD pass, no-int Week 16 win over the Seahawks. Although he did not end up having the kind of career 1983 first-round QB classmates John Elway, Dan Marino or Jim Kelly did, Eason was ready when called upon in 1984. The Patriots benched Steve Grogan in the second quarter after the Seahawks mounted a 23-point lead. Eason helped the Pats score 38 points in a 38-23 win and started the season's final 13 games. He finished as the NFL's third-rated passer, with a 2.38 TD/int ratio, doing so despite taking a league-high 59 sacks. Eason was the starter during the Patriots' 1985 playoff run, which ended in Super Bowl 20. As well, given what else has transpired in Cleveland since the franchise respawned, Anderson's sophomore effort sticks out. The only Browns Pro Bowl passer since Bernie Kosar in 1987, Anderson led the moribund franchise to the precipice of the playoffs. He replaced Charlie Fry in Week 1 and started the rest of Cleveland's games, throwing 29 touchdown passes, second most in Browns history, and winning 10 of his 15 starts. The Browns finished 10-6 and missed a wild card spot on a tiebreaker. This is their only winning season in the past 17 years. Plummer's best work came in Denver, but he delivered one historic season in the desert. The Cardinals hadn't won a playoff game since 1947, when they were the Chicago Cardinals 2 moves ago. They ended that drought under Plummer. The Arizona State product didn't shine statistically, 17 TDs, 20 INTs, 20th in 1998 passer rating, but led 7-game winning drives, including in a do-or-die Week 17 walk-off win over the Chargers, and outdueled Troy Aikman by throwing 2 TD passes in a 20-7 wild card win. This 9-7 season did not spark a Cards run, however. They didn't make the playoffs again until 2008. The essential figure in putting a downtrodden Packers franchise back on the map, Favre showed what was ahead in his first Green Bay season. Acquired from the Falcons for a first-round pick in 1992, the 91 second-rounder thrived in Mike Holmgren's head coaching debut. Favre's Packer tenure began due to a Don Majkowski injury in Week 3 and led the team to an 8-5 mark henceforth. Favre threw 18 touchdown passes en route to the first of his 11 Pro Bowls. The Packers just missed the 1992 NFC bracket but made the playoffs in 10 of the next 11 seasons. 18 years after Grogan's surprise playoff charge, Bledsoe began a resurrection of what had become one of the NFL's worst franchises. The Patriots went 19-61 from 1989 to 93, but Bledsoe steered them to a 10-6 record and their first playoff berth in 8 years. The 1993 number 1 overall pick led the NFL in passing, 4,555 yards, in his second season. He needed a staggering 691 attempts to get there, 25 TDs, 27 INTs, but this marked the first of 4 Bledsoe-guided playoff journeys over the next 5 seasons. Sean McVay transformed the Rams from one of this century's worst offenses, last by more than 40 yards in 2016, into the top 2017 scoring attack. Goff did not receive as much credit, but he was at the controls of this innovative attack. A maligned number 1 overall pick after a rocky rookie year, Goff threw 28 TD passes, compared to just 7 INTs, and jumped his yards per attempt figure from 5.3 to 8.0, second best in 2017, in a Pro Bowl season. Goff built on this in a superior 2018 slate, piloting the Rams to Super Bowl 53. The only full luck season that did not include 4,000 passing yards, 2013 still saw the prized prospect lead a flawed Colts roster to the playoffs. Saddled with Trent Richardson as his primary running back and a 20th-ranked defense, Luck threw 23 TD passes and a career-low 9 INTs. While Peyton Manning outproduced him during his record-setting 2013, Luck was efficient in a Colts shootout win over the Broncos. Luck is primarily here, however, for the Colts' 28-point comeback over the Chiefs in the wild-card round. His 443-yard, 5 TD showing remains an all-time postseason performance. Esiason emerged to throw the league's second most touchdown passes, 27, and post the second best passer rating, 93.2, in 1985. The 84 second-round pick compiled 6 3-TD pass games and led the Bengals to 95 points in back-to-back wins over the Cowboys and Oilers. Cincinnati turned to Esiason 2 games in Ken Anderson's final 2 starts, and beat 3 playoff teams en route to a 7-7 record behind its new signal caller. Esiason made 3 Pro Bowls with the Bengals and was the NFL MVP in their 1988 AFC title season. Andy Reid's original Patrick Mahomes broke out in a Pro Bowl 2000 slate, beginning a successful partnership. Booed after being chosen number 2 overall in 1999, the Syracuse option quarterback led the Eagles back to the playoffs in his first year as a regular starter. McNabb threw for 3,365 yards and 21 TDs, and ran for a career-high 629 and 4 scores. He accounted for each of the Eagles' 3 TDs in a 21-3 wild-card win over the Buccaneers. This season did not include an NFC title game appearance, but the 6-time Pro Bowler led the Eagles to 5 such seasons in his 10-year run as Phillies starter. Perhaps the weirdest entry on this list, Foles had Chip Kelly getting the kind of buzz Sean McVay later received. Michael Vick's midseason replacement started just 10 games but threw 27 touchdown passes and just 2 interceptions during a season that saw Peyton Manning shatter NFL records. Foles led the league with a 119.2 passer rating. 2 months after Manning's record-tying 7 TD pass performance, Foles equaled it while piloting Philadelphia to an NFC East crown. This didn't last, with the future Super Bowl MVP traded in 2015 and Kelly fired later that year, but it was an interesting NFL stretch. Watson suffered a torn ACL that ended a surefire Offensive Rookie of the Year season in 2017. He took 62 sacks, the most an NFL QB has absorbed since 2006, behind a porous O-line in 2018. But the ex-Clemson Phenom dragged Houston to the AFC South title and an 11-5 record, making the Texans the 5th team to go from 0-3 to the playoffs in a non-strike season since the merger. Watson's passing and rushing numbers 4,165, 551, remain career-high marks, and he accounted for 31 touchdowns in 2018. This season showed the Texans' 15-plus-year search for a true franchise quarterback was over. Kaepernick received only 7 regular season starts but made his debut memorable in the playoffs. He turned the 49ers into an offensive machine that was one goal line stand, or one bad no call, from a Super Bowl title. Jim Harbaugh unleashed the 2011 second-round pick midseason, despite Alex Smith's hot start, and saw him average 8.3 yards per attempt while rushing for 415 yards and 5 TDs. Kaepernick shredded the Packers for a QB record 181 rushing yards during a dominant 444 total yard, 4 TD night, led the 49ers past the number 1 seeded Falcons and threw for 302 yards in the Super Bowl loss. Thrust into the spotlight because of a scary Drew Bledsoe injury, the 2006 round pick began his legendary run by leading the Patriots to their first Super Bowl championship. A dominant defense buoyed Brady in his first year as a starter, allowing him to serve as a game manager for the 0-1 Pats, 12th in DVOA, 2,843 passing yards, 6.9 per attempt, 18 TDs. Given a mulligan via the tuck rule in round 2, Brady made the Raiders pay during a 300-plus yard night. He only posted 145 yards in Super Bowl 36 but highlighted an all-time NFL upset with a game-winning drive. This season, not a fluke, a 1999 first-rounder, Culpepper waited behind Jeff George as a rookie before taking the Minnesota reins in 2000 and guiding the Vikings to the NFC Championship game. Culpepper threw 33 TD passes and rushed for 470 yards and 7 more scores. His 8.3 yards per attempt led all non-Rams passes that year. The supersized QB threw 3 TDs, 2 to Randy Moss, to turn a divisional round Saints matchup into a blowout. A knee injury ended Culpepper's Minnesota run 5 years later, but he delivered a memorable stretch to start his career. Manning's case in the QB GOAT argument hinges partially on how long he was a top-tier quarterback. While Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger gradually emerged as such, Manning was ready by year 2. After setting a rookie int record 28, he helped the Colts morph from 3-13 to 13-3 and began his run of prodigious seasons. He threw for 4,135 yards, 7.8 per attempt, 26 TDs and made the first of his 14 Pro Bowls. While many of Manning's future playoff shortcomings can be attributed to defensive deficiencies, he struggled in his first outing, a loss to the Titans, to keep him out of this top 5. A sizable statistical gap exists between the top 4 and the rest of the list. Jackson delivered an otherworldly 2019 that decided numerous fantasy leagues and led to the best record in Ravens history, 14-2, the 5th of the 5 2018 first-round QBs chosen. Jackson lapped his classmates with this stunning masterpiece, which earned him unanimous MVP honors. The ex-Heisman winner smashed Vic's single-season QB rushing record by gliding for 1,206 yards and powering the Ravens to break a 41-year-old team single-season rushing record. He still led the NFL in TD passes, 36, despite mediocre weaponry. Entering the 2020s as the NFL's top asset, Mahomes signaled this was on tap in 2018. The 2017 first-round pick took the Chiefs from reliably good to Super Bowl ready in his first year as a starter, becoming the third quarterback to throw 50 touchdown passes in a season. The runaway MVP added 5,097 passing yards and guided a defensively deficient Chiefs team to the AFC's top seed. The Patriots subdued Mahomes in the first half of the AFC title game, but he scorched Bill Belichick's defense in the second period of a loss that showed a New England to Kansas City baton pass was coming. A year later, Mahomes finished that mission. Warner going from Northern Iowa to Hy-Vee to the Arena League to preseason backup to Super Bowl 34 MVP represents one of the greatest rises in NFL history. Stepping into Trent Green's would-be role, Warner captivated the football world in 1999 by throwing 41 touchdown passes and leading the greatest show on turf. He won the first of his 2 MVPs and showed the Rams, 4-12 in 1998, with a class of the NFL in 1999. Warner threw 5 TDs in a round 2 rout of the Vikings, and after edging the books, the Rams saw their unlikely superstar bombard the Titans with a then Super Bowl record 414 yards. This remains the NFL passing zenith, despite the records having fallen. Marino's 48 touchdown passes broke a 21-year-old record by 12. Only 3 other teams